Jerry Jones. We just heard from him. He has indicated that the Dallas Cowboys have made some progress in their contract talks with Ezekiel Elliott, saying that he was hopeful to have the star running back available to play in Sunday's season opener. A source told ESPN's Ed Werder earlier Tuesday that the Cowboys and Elliott are working well together on the contract talks, but there's serious work left. ESPN has also confirmed multiple reports that Elliott is traveling to Dallas in order to be present to sign a contract Tuesday if the sides agree to a deal.
Sounds like they're going to agree if he's flying back.
Right.
It's right there at the finish line.
So if it's at the finish line, and Damien, if Zeke signs, how good are the Dallas Cowboys?
I picked the Cowboys to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I've said it earlier in the show.
With Zeke.
With Zeke, absolutely. This is the best Cowboys team since the 90s when they had the triplets. They have everything. The offensive line is elite. They brought over Amari Cooper. The defense was one of the best defenses in the National Football League last year. If you have Zeke in the fold, which is, to me, the biggest component to it all, because he helps every facet of the Dallas Cowboys team, this team, to me, is ready-made to represent, to go to the Super Bowl this year.
No, they're not. It looks like they are on paper, except for one thing. The thing you need in the NFL more than any, I explained to the retired NFL, former Pro Bowl player. Were you ever All Pro, or were you just a Pro Bowl? I want to get this straight.
We don't need to get all the accolades.
Only a Pro Bowl.
And multiple.
Yes, and a couple of Super Bowl rings.
Well,
Yes. What do you know?
No,
Listen,
tell him.
Meantime, I am a former Madden simulation champion.
Okay.
Sure, not against other players, against the machine, but nevertheless. Listen, they don't have a coach. Jason Garrett's not a Super Bowl coach. And let me tell you something. In the NFL, the first thing I look at, quarterback coach, what are those combinations? So you look at the Eagles. Carson Wentz maybe has not shown that it factor that Dak has in big pressure moments, but in every other case, he's been better. He's the better quarterback. And I think he's learned from the Foles experience. Everything I hear out of the Eagles is, no, Carson's really matured as a leader, et cetera, et cetera. They always liked him. He always worked hard. But he was still finding his way as a leader. And apparently, he's coming along in that department, made huge strides. And then you look at the rosters the Eagles match up with the Cowboys. Like, they're as talented as anybody. And they have a coach, Damien. Jason Garrett, this offense is built around the running back. They draft him fourth. They're about to pay him, right? 4th and 1, midfield. They punt. Out of here, coach. Sorry. If I'm the owner of a team or a GM of a team and I see that, let's get the next guy in here. You can't do it. And when I look at that combination versus Peterson, Wentz, and some others, you can look at the Saints. You can look at a couple other. By the way, I'm not a believer in Jared Goff with the chips on the line yet. But in every other instance, boy, the Rams seem to have it figured out too. Cowboys don't have that. They're not a dynamic offense because they don't have a dynamic coach. You know what I thought of, Damien, when I was watching college football this last weekend? And I saw Jalen Hurts look like $1 billion. I thought Lincoln Riley can do this with Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, whoever you give him. They look amazing. What would he do with Dak Prescott? If and when the Cowboys fire Jason Garrett and hire Lincoln Riley, which I think will happen eventually, get back to me.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't see Lincoln Riley ever, leaving Oklahoma. These big-time college programs, to me, are more desirable than the pro programs in this particular case. But listen, you talked about Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. I agree, they're a dynamic duo, but you forgot one key component. Got to be available. Hasn't that always been the case with Carson Wentz?
Yep.
Listen, Carson Wentz is as talented as any quarterback in the National Football League. But there's a reason why Nick Foles is so beloved in Philadelphia. It was because Carson Wentz, with all his immense ability, couldn't stay on the field.
What about the Saints?
And that's still
what about the Rams?
Well, listen, if we're going to talk about the Saints, look at the end of the season last year with the Saints. Was Drew Brees the same guy at the end of the season? They didn't play. They bogged down. Drew Brees didn't look the same.
How about when the Rams beat you at bully ball last year? Like bully ball, they beat them. Let alone offensive, dynamism.
Listen, that was last year. I think right now with everything that the Cowboys have, they're going to have a new play caller this year with Kellerman, who I anticipate using using his legs. I think that was the one aspect when you watch the Dallas Cowboys play. It's like, okay, you got a guy that's like a dual threat type of guy. Why aren't you utilizing one of the more, impressive aspects to Dak Prescott's game? Use his legs. I think Kellen Moore will bring that aspect to the Dallas Cowboys. So to me, they have a formula that can take them there. We saw what Amari Cooper did for Dak Prescott last year. His numbers skyrocketed when Amari Cooper was there. In the middle of the year when he got traded from the Oakland Raiders. Now he has a full off season with Dak Prescott. Can you imagine how much better he's going to be?
You mentioned, go ahead.
He has a conservative, basically, fundamentally, the character is conservative head coach. And so what that means, when you look at Dak, he doesn't turn the ball over. I like Dak a whole lot. He's a game manager who's big on third down and good under pressure. That's exactly who you want. And he can run and he can throw and all that stuff. The issue with Dak is not like, oh, that was a stupid play. There were two bigger chunk plays that he left on the field. He's overly conservative. He needs a dynamic head coach in terms of it being an offensive mind. And instead, he has Jason Garrett and a run-centric offense and a guy who nevertheless is punting on 4th and 1.
You talking about the run-centric offense that beat the New Orleans Saints in the regular season last year? You talking about that?
They have a lot of wins until the playoffs.
That guy, right?
They have a lot of wins till the playoffs.
So you mean to tell me that formula can't take you to the Super Bowl? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Watch this, Roz. Just for the record, you ever played for the Los Angeles Rams?
Never.
Philadelphia Eagles?
No.
Okay. New Orleans Saints?
No.
Dallas Cowboys?
No. Okay. So what are you saying?
New England Patriots?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand the mentality of a championship team, right?
That's correct.
Okay, that does not transport everywhere else. The Dallas Cowboys haven't won a championship in 25 years.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.